everyone, welcome back to the 2018 Granny Square Crochet Along. Today we are making the pumpkin granny square. This square is for the 1st of November. It's a few days early when I'm making it now, but the 1st of November, so some of you have probably got pumpkin insides to use up from yesterday. Pumpkin pies, pumpkin soup, pumpkin lattes. It's that time of year in many parts of the world for that autumnal pumpkin spicy lovely warming foods, and I do love pumpkin soup. I got into a bit of trouble with my husband a few years ago when I made rather a lot of pumpkin soup and just filled the entire freezer with pumpkin soup, which he doesn't even like. Anyway, what's your favourite pumpkin foods then? What's your favourite things to make with pumpkin? Let me know. I'm curious to know. I've never had a pumpkin latte, so that's next on my list, is to try a pumpkin latte. Anyway, we are making this square today. I'm going to stop waffling and we're going to get on with making this pumpkin granny, which I have used this kind of beigey brown, almost like pie crust colour. So I'm calling this Granny's pumpkin pie. So anyway, you will need a colour for your pumpkin. If you're doing a pumpkin, you might choose to not do a pumpkin. You might choose to do this in a different colour and make a turnip. Or you might choose to do something different entirely. Anyway, if you're doing it like this, you want a pumpkin colour, you might want a colour for the pumpkin stalk, and then something for the background. Okay, and then scissors, and then there is one round where you might appreciate having a couple of stitch markers. Okay, and other than that, grab a tea or coffee and let's get started. Okay, so you can start your pumpkin with either the magic ring or chain 4 and slip stitch to form a ring, which obviously is what I've done here. And then you're going to chain 3 as your first double crochet, and then 11 double crochet into this ring. And then when you've finished, including that first chain 3, you will have 12 altogether. So I'll get back to you when I have 12. And then I'm going to slip stitch into the top of that first chain 3 to close that round and just pull in my centre a little bit. There we go. That's round 1 of our pumpkin. Okay, round 2, this is a round where it's helpful to have a couple of stitch markers, so just grab those now so they are ready. Okay, we are going to chain 3 again as our first double crochet, and then we're going to do a double crochet in that same stitch. And then we're going to do 2 double crochet in each stitch around. And I will see you at the end of this round when you have 24 single crochet, double crochets, and then we will pop those stitch markers on. So just 2 double crochet in each stitch, and I'll see you soon. Okay, here we go. I've got my 24 double crochet and I'm going to slip stitch in the top of that chain 3. There we go, just to close that round. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to pull that out for a moment. So our stitch markers we're going to place on where we've just slip stitched for the top of our chain 3. So put your stitch marker in that stitch. I'll get my words out properly. And then you want to count the 13th stitch. That's the first, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So pop one in that stitch at the bottom, and they should be just above each other, in line there above each other. Okay, so that's just where we know where to go for a certain stitch in the next round. Okay, so round 3. Okay, we are going to chain 1, and then we're going to do 2 half double crochets in the next stitch. One, two, and then we're going to do a double crochet in the next stitch and 2 double crochet in the next. I'm going to do that 3 more times with those double crochets. I don't pull my stitch out. Okay, so that's one. So we're going to do another one, 1 double crochet and then 2 double crochet in the next. So let's just check that I'm doing this correctly. So 2 half double crochet, 2 double crochet, double crochet, 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet. This is in each stitch. And then a 1 double crochet and 2 double crochet in the next stitch. Make sure we're on line there. Okay, so you should now have 12 double crochets along here, and then your 2 half double crochets. And we have 2 more stitches left before our marked stitch. So we are going to do a double crochet in the next, 2 half double crochets in the next stitch. This is just to bring our pumpkin in a little so that it's not completely circular, because pumpkins are kind of this sort of shape, aren't they? They're not totally round. They've got that bit that goes in at the bottom and in at the top. So 2 half double crochets. I've just done that. Okay, now in the next stitch you can remove that stitch marker, and in that particular stitch you want to do a slip stitch. And then 2 half double crochets in the next stitch, double crochet in 2 half double crochets. I just did 1 there, didn't I? So there we go, 2 half double crochets after our slip stitch, and a double crochet in the next stitch, 2 double crochet in the next, then 1, and then 2, and then 1, and then 2, one, and then 2, so I mean we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and then we're going to do a double crochet in the next stitch, 2 half double crochet in the next, and then remove this stitch marker, and you are going to do a slip stitch into your first chain. So where we started here with the chain, just going to go into that and do a slip stitch. Get my hook under there, and there we go. Looking good, looking good. So we're going to fasten off this colour. And we're going to start round 4. Okay, so for round 4, I'm going to do my very first 2 stitches in brown. I know it looks a bit black, but it is brown. I'm going to do my pumpkin stalk in this brown, and then I'm going to do the rest of the outside in this sort of pie crust beige colour. So it's up to you. If you want to use a different colour for your pumpkin stalk, then by all means do, and I'll show you how to change. If not, just whatever colour you're doing, join in this chain 1 where we slip stitched on the previous round. Join your colour in there. Without getting caught up. Okay, so then you can either do a chainless treble crochet or you can do a chain 4, which is what I've done. And then we're going to do a treble crochet in that very same stitch. And I'm going to change colour, so I'm going to leave those last 2 loops of that colour on the hook, drop that down, get my other background colour. I'm just going to make a loop, not a slip knot, just make a loop, put that on the hook and pull that through those last 2 loops there. Okay, just to finish that stitch, going to cut this brown away, and then now I'm going to continue with my beigey pie crust colour, my pumpkin pie. And we are going to skip 2 stitches, so 1, 2, that's those 2 half double crochets. We're going to skip those 2 stitches, and then we're going to do 3 double crochet in the back loop only of the next stitch. So skip your 2 half double crochets, and then your first double crochet you're going to go into the back loop, so skip this line at the front and go into the back loop, and you're going to do 3 double crochets. There we go. And this will give us a nice neat line around the front for our pumpkin when we have finished. Okay, and then we're going to chain 2 and skip 2 more stitches, and then in the 3rd stitch we're going to do 3 double crochet in the back loop. Back loop, do 3 double crochet. Chain 2, oh sorry, chain 1, and then skip 2 stitches, 3 double crochet in the back loop of the next stitch. Chain 1, skip 2 stitches, 3 double crochet in the back loop of the next stitch. Chain 1. So we have 1, 2, 3 sets of those double crochets, and then we are going to just have a double check of the pattern. Okay, we're going to chain another 1, so that's a chain 2 there now, and we're going to skip 2 stitches, and in the 3rd stitch 3 double crochet in the back loop. 1, 2 and 3. Chain 1, skip 2 stitches, and now in where we did our slip stitch here at the bottom, we are going to do 3 double crochets in that place there. 2 and 3, and then we're going to skip 2 stitches, do 3 double crochet in the back loop only. Sorry, we're going to chain 1 first and then do our 3 double crochet. You probably already knew that. You were there before me. Sort my yarn out. Okay, now I've got my yarn sorted out. We're going to chain 2 and then we're going to do another 3 double crochet in the 3rd stitch along in that back loop. 1, 2 and 3. Chain 1, skip 2 stitches, 3 double crochet in the back loop of the next stitch. Caught up somewhere. There we go. Okay. Chain 1, 3 double crochet in the back loop only of the 3rd stitch along. What have we got here now? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Chain 2, 3 double crochet in the back of the 3rd stitch, the back loop only of that 3rd stitch along, and 3, and then you should have 2 stitches remaining, which are your half double crochets. We're going to skip those, do a chain 1 and slip stitch into the top chain of your chain 4 or your chainless treble crochet if you did that. Slip stitch into there, and that is our round 4 finished. So working into those back loops has given us a nice neat line on our pumpkin. It doesn't sort of eat into our pumpkin, it doesn't sort of distort it at all, it gives us that nice neat edge. Gorgeous. So pumpkin pie is beginning. Okay, now to start round 5 you kind of have 3 options really. If you want to start a new colour, fasten this one off and rejoin in this 2nd space. So you've got your chain 1 space here and then you've got your chain 2 space here. So you want to join into that chain 2 space with your new colour. Or the 2nd option, you could fasten off this colour and you could rejoin in this chain 2 space here. Or the 3rd option is you could slip stitch across to that corner. So I'm just going to save any of that slip stitching palaver. That's quite a British word there, that slip stitch malarkey, fuss. And I'm just going to fasten that off there and I'm going to rejoin in this corner just because it makes it a little bit simpler, if you like. And also it leaves this stitch a bit cleaner. I'm not going to have all these slip stitches. Because we're not working into our stitches, we're working as we would for a basic granny. We're working into spaces rather than stitches now, so it just kind of makes it all a bit cleaner and tidier. So when you have your hook and yarn in this chain 2 space, we are going to chain 3 as a double crochet, or obviously you could do your chainless double crochet, and then we're going to do 2 double crochet into that same space, and then we're going to chain 2 and do 3 double crochet all in this same chain space. You might need to scooch them along if you need to make a bit more space. Okay, so we've got our first corner now, and then we are going to finish that stitch off properly. There we go. Okay, so now what we're going to do is chain 1, and into the next space we're going to do 3 double crochet. So you can see this is just like the basic granny. Chain 1 and do 3 double crochet in the next space. So chain 1, 3 double crochet in the next chain 1 space. 3, chain 1, and then you've got your chain 2 space now, so you're going to do your corner of 3 double crochet. Oops. Chain 2 and 3 more double crochet. Not sure what I'm doing here. Start that again. Just occasionally it all goes a little bit crazy. And you think, what have I done? So, start again. Okay. There we go. So we have our 2 corners made so far. And now you're going to repeat this on the other side. So chain 1 and then do your 3 double crochet, chain 1, do another 3 double crochet, chain 1, and then this will be your corner, your chain 2 space. So do your corner and then another 2 sets of 3, and then you've got your corner, and then you've got your last set of 3 here. And no, you haven't got your last set of 3 here. So you're going to do your corner, and then you're going to do the 2 sets of 3 on this top side, and then chain 1, and we will be slip stitching into the top of our starting chain 3. So I will see you guys around. Oops, sorry there. Well, I'll see you back around at the beginning. Okay, so here's my little pumpkin in what I'm calling its pie cakes. I'm just going to sort of put my fingers in the corners and square this up a bit. You know, that's what I like to do sometimes. It just helps it to stay in shape as we work around the rest of the square, rather than getting to the end and saying, oh, it's a bit out of shape. It just helps if you do that after each square round. Okay, so what we're going to do is continue now in the same way as we would for any basic granny square. If you've not made a basic granny square before, then you might be thinking, what did you want me to do? So don't panic, I'm going to tell you now. Remember, you are only working into the spaces, you are not working into the stitches. Apart from now, when we're going to slip stitch across to our corner, if you want to change colour, then always change colour in the corner space, okay? But we're sticking with the same colour. Just slip stitch across these last 2 stitches of your side. And into your corner space, and that's all you need to do. You can hardly see there's any slip stitching there. It won't show at all, or hardly at all in the next round. So what you're going to do is work in exactly the same way. Your corners will always be 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. So you will do those in each of these corner spaces, and in between you will do a chain 1, and then you'll work into the next space and do 3 double crochet, chain 1, into the next space, 3 double crochet, just as we did for this round. And then in the next round you will change colour in the corner, or you'll slip stitch across just as we have here, and continue doing rounds exactly like so until your square is the size you would like it to be. So according to the pattern chart, we will be doing 3 more rounds. So we've just done round 5. We will be doing 6, 7 and 8, but you might have your square up to size before 8 rounds. So just see how you need to go. I'm going to finish mine off, and then I'll see you when I have it finished. And here we go. Here is, as I'm calling it, Granny's pumpkin pie, because we have the granny, the pie case colour, and then the pumpkin. So this is my Granny's pumpkin pie. I've sewn in all my ends. It's all nice and neat on the back, Doesn't take too much to sew those ends in. I only needed to go to round 7 for my 6 inches, and it's turned out quite nice and square. I love it, love it. So I can't wait to see your squares as usual in the group album. The link to the Facebook group is in that description below, just down there. So come over and join us if you haven't already. And if you found this tutorial useful and helpful and you've enjoyed crocheting along or watching along, then please be sure to click that like button and give us a thumbs up as always. Show us some love and appreciation. And until next time, just keep hooking and don't let your teeth get cold.